A great virtual assistant hire starts before anyone applies. It starts with the job post itself, the words on the screen that 100 people will read before a single one of them ever writes to you. I learned this the slow way. My early job post pulled in a flood of the wrong people, dozens of replies that all looked the same, and not one of them a real fit. I would sit there sorting through the pile, wondering what I was doing wrong. Then I changed one thing. I changed how I wrote the post. And the very next time I hired, that one role brought in about 80 genuinely good applicants, real people who clearly wanted this specific job. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that post looked like, section by section, the honest version, so you can write one just like it. Why most job posts fail. Let me start with why most job posts quietly fail. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The classic mistake is the vague post, looking for a rockstar assistant to join our amazing team. You have seen 100 of them, and they all say nothing. A post like that is trying to appeal to everyone, so it lands with no one. A great worker reads it and cannot tell what the job actually is, so they move on. And the people who do reply are the ones who reply to everything, because there was nothing in the post to filter them out. Here is the shift that fixed it for me. Specificity is a filter, not a limitation. Every concrete detail you add, the exact tasks, the real hours, the honest pay, quietly turns away the people who are not a fit and pulls in the ones who are. A narrow, specific post feels like it should get you fewer replies. It does. That is the entire point. You are trading a big pile of noise for a small stack of signal. The anatomy of the post, so here is the anatomy of the post that actually worked, and I'm going to walk it section by section so you can copy the shape of it. The whole thing is shorter than you would think, and every part of it is doing a job. There are 6 pieces, a specific title, a short honest intro about who you are and what the work is, the exact day-to-day tasks in plain language, the tools they will actually use, the hours, and whether this is full-time or part-time, and the pay range stated right out in the open. That is it. No fluff, no corporate mission statement, no wall of buzzwords. 6 plain pieces, each one earning its place. Let me take them one at a time. A specific title. The title is the part almost everyone wastes, and it is the most valuable space you have, because it is the one line that decides whether a good person opens your post at all. Do not write virtual assistant wanted. That could be anything. Instead, say the actual thing. Something like part-time virtual assistant for a small automation business. Comfortable with spreadsheets and email. It is not clever and it is not catchy, and that is exactly why it works. A specific title does 2 jobs at once. It pulls in the person who reads it and thinks, that is me, that is the work I do. And it gently pushes away the person who does not do that work, before they waste their time or yours. I would rather have the right 40 people open the post than the wrong 400. Write the title for the one person you actually want, not for the whole crowd. Start is short, honest intro, right under the title. Before any list of tasks, I put a few plain sentences about who I am and what it is actually like to work with me. Not a company bio, not a mission statement, just the truth. I am one person running a small business with a bit of automation. I work mostly over chat and email. I care a lot about clear communication, and I pay on time. That is the whole intro. It feels almost too simple, but it does something important. Remember, good people are choosing you just as much as you are choosing them. The best applicants have options, and they are reading your post trying to figure out if you are someone worth working for. A warm, honest, human intro tells them there is a real person on the other side of this, not a faceless company that sees them as a seat to fill. That little bit of honesty up top sets the tone for everything that comes after, the exact day-to-day tasks. Next comes the heart of the post, the part that does most of the filtering, the exact day-to-day tasks written in plain language. This is where you get specific to the point of feeling boring. Do not write handle administrative duties. Tell them what the days actually look like. You will sort and reply to the support inbox each morning. You will move finished files into the right folders and rename them by our system. You will update a tracking sheet with the day's numbers. You will format documents from a template. Real tasks in the real words a normal person would use. This matters for 2 reasons. First, a skilled worker reads that list and instantly knows whether this is work they are good at and would enjoy, or work they would quietly come to hate. Second, it quietly screens out anyone who is just spraying applications, because a generic reply cannot pretend to be excited about a specific list of tasks it never bothered to read. Plain, specific, a little boring. That is the sweet spot. The tools and the hours. After the tasks, I name the tools and I spell out the hours, and I keep both completely honest. For tools, just list the real ones. We use a shared inbox, a spreadsheet, a simple project board, and a chat app. If you have used tools like these before, you will be comfortable fast. Naming the tools lets a good applicant size up the job in about 10 seconds, and it saves you from interviewing someone who has never touched the kind of software the job runs on. Then the hours. Say how many hours a week. Say whether it is full-time or part-time, and if the work overlaps a certain time of day, say that plainly too. I never dress this part up or leave it vague. A person is trying to fit this job into a real life with a real family and a real schedule. The more honest you are about the hours, the fewer painful surprises you both get later. State the pay openly, and then the part most people are scared to write, the pay. State the pay range right there in the post in plain numbers. I know the instinct is to hide it and negotiate later, but hiding the pay is a mistake that only costs you. When you leave the pay out, two things happen, and both are bad. The good, experienced applicants, the ones who know their worth, quietly skip your post, because a listing that hides the pay usually means the pay is not good. And you fill your inbox with people who have no idea what you are offering, so you both waste time discovering you are never in the same range. Stating a fair, honest range does the opposite. It signals confidence and respect. It tells people you value their time enough not to make them guess. And it means everyone who replies already knows the money works for them. Be fair, be open, and put the number in the post. The one line that changed everything. Now here is the single most powerful thing in the whole post, and it is almost embarrassing how small it is. One line near the very end, a hidden instruction. What I do is add a quiet little request tucked down near the bottom of the post. Something like, when you reply, please start your message with the word banana, so I know you read this far. Or, in your first line, tell me your favorite tool for staying organized. That is it, one tiny instruction that has nothing to do with skill and everything to do with attention. And it is the cleanest filter I have ever found. Because when the replies come in, I do not have to read a word of most of them. Either they followed the instruction or they did not. The person who included the code word read the post, the whole post, carefully enough to catch a small ask near the end, and thoughtful enough to honor it. The person who skipped it either did not read to the end or did not care to follow directions, and attention to detail is most of what this job actually is. It feels a little sneaky the first time you do it. It is not. You are not tricking anyone. You are simply rewarding the people who did the basic, respectful thing of reading before they wrote. That one line will save you hours. Write it like a human's, a quick word on tone, because it runs through every part of this. Write the post like a human being talking to another human being, not like a corporate template that got passed through 3 departments. Use normal words. Let a little of your personality show. It is completely fine, good even, to say this is a small business, and some days are messy, but we are kind and we pay on time. That honesty is not a weakness in a job post, it is the whole draw. Remember what I said, the best people are choosing you. They are reading between the lines trying to work out if you will be a decent person to work for, or one more client who overpromises and underpays. A post that sounds like a real, fair, honest person cuts straight through the sea of copy-pasted corporate listings around it. So the job of the post is not just to describe the role. It is to sell the role honestly, to the right person, as the good opportunity it genuinely is. What to avoid? Now let me flip it around and name the things to keep out of your post, because what you leave out matters just as much. First, no fake urgency. Do not write urgent, hiring immediately, apply now, when it is not actually true. Good people can smell manufactured pressure, and it makes you look desperate rather than serious. Second, and this is a big one, never ask for unpaid work in the post. Do not demand a free trial task or a sample done for nothing, just to be considered. Real work deserves pay from the very first minute, and asking for free labor in the listing quietly tells every good worker exactly how you will treat them later. Third, no hidden pay, which we already covered but it belongs on this list too. And fourth, cut the empty buzzwords. Rockstar, ninja, guru, work hard, play hard. Those words mean nothing, and they tend to signal a place that talks big and pays small. Strip all of it out. A post with no hype, no pressure, and no games stands out precisely because almost no one writes them that way. For the results and why. So what actually happened when I posted the specific, honest version? The flood stopped, and that was the point. I did not get more replies than before. I got fewer, and every single one of them was better. That one role brought in about 80 genuinely good applicants over a few days. But here is the part that matters. Almost all 80 were real, thoughtful, on-the-mark replies from people who plainly wanted this exact job. The code word did its work up front, so my first pass took minutes, not hours. I was not wading through hundreds of generic templates hunting for a few good ones. I was reading a small stack of strong candidates and choosing between people who were all honestly hireable. That is the whole trade the specific post makes for you. It does not maximize the number of applicants, it maximizes the quality of them, and it hands you a pool that is small enough to actually read and good enough that the hard part becomes choosing, not searching. A template you can copy? Okay, let me hand you the reusable skeleton so you have something to start from tonight. Up top, a specific title that names the role and one or two key details. Then 2 or 3 honest sentences about who you are and what the work is really like. Then a short list of the exact day-to-day tasks. In plain language, the boring specific version. Then the tools you use so they can size up the fit. Then the hours, and whether it is full-time or part-time. Then the pay range, stated openly. And then, tucked near the end, your one hidden instruction, a code word or a small question, so you instantly know who read the whole thing. That is the entire skeleton. 7 simple parts. Write each one honestly, in your own plain voice, and resist every urge to dress it up. You can adapt this for almost any remote role. A support assistant, a data helper, a content person. The shape stays the same, specific, honest, human, with a quiet filter at the bottom. Keep a copy of it and reuse it every time you hire. So that is the whole post, start to finish. A specific title, an honest human intro, the real day-to-day tasks, the tools, the hours, an open pay range, and one small hidden instruction to filter for the people who actually read. None of it is clever. It just respects the reader enough to tell them the truth and ask them to pay attention. The site where I post all of this is OnlineJobs.ph, and the link is down in the description. I will be straight with you, that is an affiliate link, so if you sign up through it, it supports the channel at no extra cost to you. And to be clear, it is a paid job board, not a free one, so only use it if it fits what you are doing. You are never obligated to use my link. If this kind of honest, hands-on breakdown is useful to you, then subscribe and follow along, because there is a lot more of it coming. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.